name is Barris Flemings, also known as Prism, and I'm an abstract artist from Detroit, Michigan. For me, creativity is almost a form of therapy. It's a release. Ever since I was young, creative expression has been important to me, starting in the forms of music and poetry, and since then expanded into fluid art. My influences include the city of Detroit, my peers and family, music, and life itself. I started creating abstract fluid paintings in February 2020, and within my first year of painting, created over 200 various pieces of art. My current goal is to become a better artist, establish a platform for myself and the creatives around me, and then to elevate that platform to the highest degree of excellence. My career in music started seriously in 2012, however, my love for music and creativity stretches back basically as long as I can remember. Music has always been an escape and a form of therapy for me, as well as something that teaches me and helps me to grow both as an artist and a human being. Music taught me to express my emotions through sound, which was the beginning of my understanding of the significance in artistic, energetic exchanges. Learning to transmute my struggle, my pain, my joy, anger, love, fear, and all my other experiences is something that music taught me originally, which became instrumental in my creative process as an abstract artist. Nowadays, I find painting has lent me a renewed creative energy that inspires me musically, so now one hand's washing the other. The freedom I found in painting has encouraged me to further stretch my boundaries and expression as a musical artist and producer, as well as to reevaluate the way I view creation and creativity overall. There were a lot of various factors and situations that led to my start in painting in February of 2020. To sum it up neatly, I was in a dire need of a major change in my life, as well as a new creative outlet to express myself. 2019 was mentally one of the hardest years to get through in my life at the time, so for such a crucial and sensitive year to be followed by, 2020, you can imagine my pain, frustration, and angst in the beginning of the pandemic. Having life as I knew it completely flipped upside down by situations out of my control, coupled with a creative block musically, put me in a real crucial position in life. I knew this would be a make or break year for me. I'd always been interested in art. I was a patron before a creator, and that love gave me the courage to try something new. Once I made my first couple of paintings, I realized I really enjoyed the process, and I enjoyed it so much I fully threw myself into the brand new world. Since we were under strict stay-at-home orders, I had plenty of time to creatively play, learn, and hone my skills, as well as develop my newfound process of creativity. I just kept painting consistently, day after day after day, posting my progress on social media, mainly for archiving purposes. And then people started to see my work, and the amount of support and encouragement I began receiving from friends, peers, and strangers alike just further confirmed my suspicion that I was on track for something special in my new field of exploration. Fast forward to the end of 2020, and there I was with over 200 pieces created within a year. My current painting process has almost become ritual for me at this point. It usually involves a favorite playlist or a great new album I can listen to, some simply orange juice and peach juice mixed with some champagne, a bit of my favorite recreational vice, some random dancing, and the most important part, prayer and meditation. Now, to be honest, every time I paint, I can't truthfully say I meditated that day, but I'm pretty sure to always make it a point to pray before I create. This practice was inspired by a book I read in 2020 called The War of Art, not to be confused with The Art of War, the classic Sun Tzu book. I believe that creativity is a gift and blessing we as humans all share and are able to connect and tap into. While some people may have a stronger affinity to acknowledge and move on this connection, we all have the capacity for creativity. When I pray before I create, I'm channeling the essence of gratitude throughout my mind, body, and soul's connection. And I'm then shifting that energy into whatever I'm working on at the time. For me, my artwork is a result of the spirit of abundance manifested. Now, while some people may not be into spirituality, so they may not necessarily understand or relate to what I'm talking about, I think everybody can understand that it's likely you'll perform your best when you feel your best. So I make it a conscious point to feel good while I'm creating, even if emotionally I'm going through something tough. That's how art becomes therapy for me. I'm making an intention to be fully present when creating, and that intention then creates the space for magic to happen. I've loved pour paintings since I learned about them back in 2017. Now, I never would have dreamed back then that I myself would be creating, let alone selling portrait paintings, but here I am. Portrait paintings are unique to me because it's almost impossible to find the same one twice. They're like snowflakes. Each one has individual characteristics that are only able to be created in that moment. Then afterwards, no matter how hard you try, you will almost never get the exact same painting. And I find a beauty and a freedom in that, truly. I use portrait paintings to basically capture moments and emotions in time. When I look into my paintings, I see something beautiful on the surface as well as underneath, because I know where I was internally and what I was going through when I created each piece. My portrait paintings are all pieces of me, and I think that's what inherently makes them different, and that's why I love creating them. There are various techniques and habits I use in creating that has given me my own specific style, I believe, but the core essence of what makes my paintings different is the energy and intention I put into every creative session. Ideally, I like to be able to provide the artists and from the city of Detroit some of the opportunities I was exposed to growing up. Ever since middle school, I've known the value of mentors. My mother was the type of parent who didn't believe in letting her child sit around, so she always did what she could to make sure I was involved in different programs and activities to help sculpt and mold me into the person I am today. And that's a privilege I experienced I'll forever be grateful for. I was also blessed to grow up in a time and space inside the city of Detroit before gentrification had arrived. I remember when the opportunities here were few and far between for creatives. I remember attending events and platforms curated by my peers and being exposed to environments where creative freedom and genius were showcased and celebrated for us, by us. While I'm glad to see our city making a comeback, I'm not blind to the residual effects of the changes going on. There's a changing of the guards happening, and I'm afraid to see what will happen to our creative culture if we no longer have any equity in the opportunities being presented. Ideally, I would like to aid in creating a space where creatives can grow, learn, network, and prosper together as a community. From platforms and venues like the Red Cup Session, the Air Up There, Taste, the Untitled Bottega, the Baltimore Gallery, I've seen over a decade's worth of cultural growth within the city. And I recognize the impact and value of having these spaces and opportunities for artists. That's why my goal is to pick up the torch and help continue the fight to preserve, protect, and nurture our creative community inside the city of Detroit. We shouldn't have to ever leave our city to be celebrated and supported. We should be able to feel secure and confident that regardless of whatever outside entities feel about our city's creative culture, we can be self-sufficient and therefore non-dependent on the whims of people not fully vested in our future who only want to capitalize on our moment. Detroit is more than just what's in or what's hip. Detroit has a very real cultural and mentality that has been here way before the attention we're receiving now and will continue to thrive and survive far after all the hype has faded away.